Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's Coach Scheyer here with the Brotherhood podcast. Today we have a special guest. This guest is the fastest coach in ACC history to win 100 games. He was a big-time player here at Duke, and he's proven to be a big-time coach here at Duke. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only, Coach Jon Scheyer.
Great to be here with you. I've been waiting finally to do a podcast with the two of us. So now I feel like I've finally arrived to be here with you, big guy.
That's right, man. It's a special moment. Let's take it back though for a minute. Going back to 2022, and I have to say, I'm the only coach on staff that's been a part of all 100, all 100 wins. So
that's right.
For Sewell. That's right. For Sewell. Take me back to that first win against Jacksonville back in 2022. What do you remember about the locker room that night? And how different is that version of Coach Scheyer compared to the one who just won 100 games here at Duke?
So first, I just have to say, before we get to Jacksonville, I think I'm even uncomfortable talking about this because I think as a coach it's important to have great humility. You got to have great players. You need guys that believe in what you're doing, and we've been able to coach in 4 years really good players. And you got to have great people around you, and the importance of staff, the importance of coaches. Like you said, you've been right there with me for all this, and that's meant a lot to me. But I think that's important to note. When I think back to Jacksonville, I'm not sure I've ever been more nervous in my life. You probably had to listen to me talk about Jacksonville for about 3 months. We'd be on the road recruiting in July, and hey, Jacksonville? What does the roster look like? And the first time you walk out and getting ready for a game, just obviously excitement, but there's incredible nerves. You don't know what to expect from your team. I don't care if it's this year or year one. The first game's unsettling, and especially your first game ever. And I just remember we played really well in that game. I remember first play of the game, I think Mark Mitchell got a dunk right away on a lob, and that helped us a little bit, just settle us. And I thought our guys played great, and then we just celebrated like we'd won a championship in the locker room. And I think that's important to remember, the joy that you should have along the way for this ride that we're on.
Yeah, it was a great feeling, being a part of that first one. You were nervous. We all were, just because it's new territory.
Yeah.
It's new territory, but we got over the hump.
We did.
And now we've won 100 games.
Yeah, we did.
And you won 100 games. How do you think your coaching style has evolved during the 100 wins?
And you'd probably be better to ask you that question than maybe myself. I mean, I think you just grow into your own comfortability, and in our staff, I think we've developed great continuity with what works for us, what works in college basketball in 2025, and really then I think especially your first time coaching, you try to take a lot from a lot of different people, and you're not necessarily fully who you should be all the time. And I think the difference for us the last few years, we've gone through a lot of trial and error. We've gone through a lot of staff meetings and watching film and studying NBA, studying EuroLeague, and like what works at Duke, what works for us. And I think there's more conviction in how to play, what we do offensively and defensively, and then sticking to that while also always having flexibility, because we've experienced, right? I mean, what worked for our team at the end of year one, that didn't necessarily translate to what worked for that team in year two, even though we had a core group returning. And so we've had to adjust every year at the same time as having strong convictions for certain things, certain ways that we're going to play. I think that would be the biggest difference from year one to where we are now.
Yeah, for the audience who's listening, Coach Scheyer is a basketball junkie. All right. First of all, before he's a coach, he's a junkie. So he's always watching basketball, whether it's high school, college, Europe, NBA. I mean, he watches it all, and he's always sending out a play, numbers on offense, numbers on defense. He's like a mad scientist. And so, to be a part of it and just to see your evolution, it's been exciting, man. And I'll go quick story time, BB. Quick story time. I got a chance during COVID, and we lived around a corner from each other. That's not the case anymore. This guy's house it's incredible. It's not the case anymore. But we really got close during that time, and from our talks, long walk and talks, I felt like, man, this guy's he's going to be a good head coach one day. I truly believe that, and I didn't think it would be here. You never know, but you didn't think your first opportunity would be here at Duke. But to be honest with you, I'm not surprised. I've always believed in you, and you've even exceeded my expectation. To be honest with you, man, just how you come to work every day, the attention to detail, the passion that you have, and look, don't let the smooth taste fool you. All right, next question. Most challenging aspect of the job.
Most challenging aspect of the job. I think it's we get a lot of questions, right? This is probably, I think if you had to rank like what's most important with X and O coaching, what's most important recruiting, or you go down the line. I think the number one most challenging thing is roster construction, right? And you're only as good as I'll say this forever. You're only as good as the players you get to coach and the people that you get to coach, right? And I think for us, it'd be one thing if you had great turnover every single year. I think the most difficult thing for us is you're trying to anticipate sometimes who could be coming back or the uncertainty that comes with that on a year-to-year basis. So I think that's by far the most challenging thing is preparing to have the best team you possibly can have each year while facing great uncertainty, especially for us because we have a lot of guys that have opportunities to go to NBA right away, which is great, but that makes it difficult to plan. And so I think our experience living in this world, together now for the last 8 years?
8 years.
Last 8 years in a row, even though we've had experience, before in this, I think has allowed us to make the best, the best decisions while also understanding that it's somewhat of guesswork, a little bit that goes into that. I think that's the most challenging part because it's also the most important thing with who your team is, how they complement one another. And that's something we've taken a lot of pride in, right? Not just having talent, but having talent with character, with a skill set that translates to impacting winning in college, not just talent in general, while also complementing each other. So I think that would be the biggest challenge. And then if I can say one more, or if I'm talking too much, you can just tell me that we can go to the next. I know
100 wins, baby. 100 wins. Keep this thing going.
I would say the fact of the matter is every decision you make throughout the course of a game, practice, playing time, you make decisions where you disappoint people. It comes with the territory of you can't make everybody happy at once with the decisions that you make. So your loyalties to each of your players, but your ultimate loyalty is also to the team. And so I think when you reconcile with that, you make the decisions obviously wanting what's best for each of our guys, and it's fair, but it's also you make decisions based on the loyalty to the team.
Most rewarding part of the job?
I think there's no question it's the ability to make an impact on other people's lives. I think no question about it. You think about our guys, the players, that we recruit, and we're in their homes. They come on these visits, and to see their names called on draft night, to see them go into the real world of business and just living out their dreams, to me is the best. The ability when you see what Duke basketball means to so many people when they come to Cameron Indoor Stadium. They walk in before a game, they stay afterwards, they come to a shoot around, they just the impact. Like, to me, is we're so lucky, to be able to make a difference.
When you think about the journey, you were named head coach almost 5 years ago.
Yeah, right.
Replacing one of the greatest coaches of all time. You've won your 100th game. When you look back and think about the journey, what are you most proud of?
See, I'm most proud of the fact, and it's only right that me and you are, talking about this together, because you've been there literally every step of the way, and I'm most proud of the fact that we've done it our way. That we've been true to what we've learned in our time at Duke. And carrying those values forward. But I think we've been really true to who we are, and where this day and age in college basketball, since we took over, the timing of it is crazy. Because the timing of it was literally when we were in the Final Four in New Orleans and our season ended, the world changed in college basketball. Like, really changed going into that next year. And so it forced us to, I think, truly fully be true to ourselves and to do it our way. And to, still, you recruit great guys. All the lessons we've learned here, we've carried with us. We've had to kind of adapt like crazy. And so I'm proud of the fact that we've been able to do that and stay, really at the top of college basketball in the same way.
That's right. What's the one stat that you obsess over that nobody else talks about? Almost everything, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna let him give you one, maybe two. You get one or two.
Well, if we're not top 5 in defensive efficiency, I think that's, people probably peg me as an offensive guy coming up, right? And we've had great offenses, but I think the ability to do both is something that we obsess over, because, yeah, you can be great offensively. Yeah, you can be great defensively. I think it's incredibly challenging to do both because, look, for us, teams, if you look at time of possession for us on defense, teams we're one of the 10, we're on defense the top 10 of the country, in terms of the time of possession that teams are taking on that end of the floor. And so to still play fast on offense in the way that you want, they're two contrasting styles, if that makes sense. Yeah. Well, me and you talk about it all the time, if that makes sense to you guys, And I think for me, the ability to do both is to be top 5, top 10 in both offensive efficiency and defensive efficiency. I think it's a great challenge, and I think that's something that I do obsess over. Try to get us where we're in the. I think if you do both those things, it puts you in the mix to be as good as anybody.
I think that's the one thing I'm probably most surprised about, was the attention to detail on the defensive end. I was on staff.
Could you not tell me as a player?
Look, I was on staff 2 years when you were a player.
I don't know if I like this reputation.
You scored over 2,000 points.
I don't know if this is a fair.
Look, I played numerous of pickup games with this guy. I don't see him in the stands too many times. Not in the passing lanes, shooting the ball a lot. I think that's the thing I'm most surprised about. Like, you've really, the one thing that's been consistent. We've evolved offensively on that, on that side of the ball. We've really, the last couple of years, have been really, really good on the offensive end of the ball. But the one thing that's been most consistent throughout these 100 wins, the 4 years, is the defensive end of the ball. I mean, you're like a maniac on it. I mean, you really pay attention to like the defensive side of the ball, which I'm be honest with you, I was surprised about. I mean, I knew you would have all these great ideas on the offensive end, but I mean, the time that we spend on the defensive end and talking about defense has, it's been really good for us, and it's been a
Right.
recipe for us winning.
Well, I guess on the flip side, I'm impressed that you can coach shooting because I saw you. Because
We got a little jab going on here.
Because you know what? I saw him as a
Little jab right here. Little jab. Just a little jab.
Yeah, just I mean, great player, but
right.
shooting wasn't exactly. Just so you guys know, that wasn't exactly what his go-to was. But he can coach it, so it's for us. It's say as we say, do as we say, not as we do. I guess that's
That's right. Ha. New segment here, ladies and gentlemen, from the best social media staff in the country. Coach Scheyer, we're gonna run through a few of these photos, okay? I want to hear, and I want to see your reaction to this first unbelievable photo that they posted. Talk to me about this one.
First of all, I'm a little. My first reaction is, am I taller than you?
Another shot.
No, it's not a
Another
shot.
shot. This guy's 6'5"?
It's an observation. It looks closer. Admit that it looks closer than you think.
It does.
But
it does.
Also, you look amazing now, and you look the same. Yeah. That's the first thing. Yeah. That feels like a million years ago. Honestly, I can't even. That's that day was chaos, just with the news coming out and doing a press conference. And for me, I think we were sharing in that moment too, because all our walks were going on and all the conversations we had. I never think that we felt that's where that was going to lead in that moment. So that was a special day for sure.
I remember this moment. Talk to me about this, Coach Scheyer.
That was a special thing because truly you're just at that point you just want to get a win, and I just love the fact, and it's something still try to remind myself of now, but just to find the joy. Sometimes it can feel like more relief, and sometimes and you do an amazing job of helping me with this and helping our guys, but to find the joy in it. And so I think it's messed up by Tyrese. He was right there and he got me pretty good. And I still owe him for that. That was big because that was the first championship we won. And we had really gone better and better that year and finally gotten healthy at the end. And then Jeremy Roach in the second half against Virginia. Our team, well, you talk about defense, our team couldn't really score year one. We had a hard time scoring. And so we had to find our identity on the defensive end. I thought in that tournament we played great defense and won our first championship.
Go back, DB. Go back. Quick story. We played against great Tony Bennett, the great coach Tony Bennett at UVA, and we had a game up there where we lost in overtime. And it was a tough loss. Felt like should have won that one, but we didn't. And I think this is where I thought your journey on becoming a great coach started at the loss at UVA. So when I think about this moment and this championship, the first, I think about how we responded. And Coach K is always talking about next play. I think how you handled that situation and how we moved forward led to us winning this first championship.
No, I think I appreciate you saying that, and I love that too because, at that moment, like they reversed the call at the end of the game, and I think, I got the sense that some people wanted me to make a bigger deal in the moment and talk about how we got screwed or how something happened, and you always think about what you control, and you control your response, you control what's next, and I'm not sure if we would have won this championship if we didn't have that same mindset.
Absolutely.
And so I'm proud of our team for being able to move forward. And how ironic that you're back in that position and, you get a chance to win one. Huh.
Jimbo.
Well, for me, obviously that's your guy Jimbo right there. But for me, it's just, you're my family, just has been there every step of the way. They travel like crazy. My sisters are there. My sisters have had I used to play AAU, growing up. We go to Orlando and the Super Showcase there, and they would travel. They'd have to plan their trips around some of our tournaments. And so I think there's resentment at times from one of them. I'm not going to say which one. But they literally have been biggest supporters, my parents, my brother-in-laws, and then my kids, my nephew and niece. So that's been our crew. That's been our crew, and you see them all the time at these games. And Blake, my nephew, has grown up basically loving wearing Duke all the time. Like, he is Duke. Like, he's always here and always brings good mojo when he comes to the games.
Always good to see Blake at the games. Always good.
Oh man, this was a great night, and you've been really, I would say, the king of the Brotherhood get-togethers, and really you've had the unique perspective of playing. His nickname's 96, so everybody knows, because he has the 90s covered. He's got the 2000s covered. He's got the 10s covered and the 20s covered. And so, really, your impact, you've played with a lot of these guys, coached them, and you see this group. I mean, you got guys from all different eras, all different positions, whether it's playing the NBA, coaching the NBA, front office, or just in the real world, right? To me, like, how special is that picture,
Special,
right?
man.
What do you think when you see that?
Special. Just, you see Chip and Danny from the 80s.
Yep.
T. Lane and Trajan, maybe miss it from the 90s, and you go moving forward with Wojo in the 90s. It's just the different generations, man. And when we talk about the Brotherhood, this picture is a special picture, man, that emphasizes the Brotherhood at the highest level. Oh, okay. Hey, yo, TP, yo, this guy. I'm gonna start off. I'll let you go. This guy's been in the weight room. He couldn't wait. He couldn't wait to do this. Just to let you guys know, the audience, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, Duke fans all around the world. This guy, he lifts 3-4 times a week, and he couldn't wait to take his shirt off. I'm in the weight room the other day, and I'm doing like 5 pounds, 7 pounds. He comes in like, "Sewell, what are you doing?" I'm like Arnold Schwarzenegger over here. Like this guy, right? Look, DB, can you believe this?
Right.
Go ahead. I'm done. I'm done
No,
talking.
we've been working.
Yeah, right.
We've been working, and I got caught in the emotion of the water celebration, and shout out Coach Preston. Great win.
Great win.
There's a game coming up at some time, and I think if we can get Duke, our fans supporting this, for you to take your shirt off with me in this moment in the post game locker room. I think that's where we gotta get to for a post game celebration. I think that's really what would get everybody going.
Yeah. Sure. Thoughts on this year's team so far?
I think this team has been incredible to coach. I think whether some people may disagree or not, I think people expected us to be really good, but I still think this team has just quietly just stayed steady, flied a little bit under the radar in terms of, nobody, I didn't feel like people were picking us to be the best team or anything like that, and we've got a long way to go, and we're not close to accomplishing what we want. But my point is, I think our guys have just, they put their heads down and worked every day. And it's been fun because each of them, 5 freshmen, the 5 returners, Jack, Cam, and Iffy, everybody's in a different role. So they've all kind of had to find themselves with who they are now, and they've been awesome. I mean, to play the schedule that we have in these first 10 games and the 2 exhibition games, we've learned a lot about our group. I think their competitiveness and their toughness in key moments is shown. And we've talked about this as a staff. We don't feel like we've really played like a lights-out game yet, which is a credit to the opponents we've played. And it's also, I think, for us to understand how much better we can be. But what would you add to that?
I think you're right on. We played the toughest non-conference preseason schedule since I've been here. I mean, 3 games in a row against 3 quality opponents, top 25 opponents, 3 unbelievable coaches. It's been tough, and like you said, you give credit to these other teams that that we're playing against, and the coaching. They've been prepared. It's been tough battles, but we could get so much better. What are a couple things that you're looking to improve on during this time while our guys on break?
Well, one thing is we've won without having great offense yet, and we've executed better in moments down the stretch, half-court offense. We've had a hard time up until now getting stuff easy, right? And so I think for our group, how can we get our transition game going? How can we get out and try to score some easy baskets and get to the rim? And so, excuse me, but that's, I think, a big thing. And defensively, our first shot defense has been as good as there is in the country. And again, we've talked about this as a staff, but our rebounding has to be better. So finishing possessions on defense, then on offense, how can we create some easier opportunities, especially in transition, to put more pressure on the defense and to score a little bit more efficiently.
It's been great, man. I'm so proud of you. So proud to be a part of this journey. Congratulations on 100 wins, and let's work on the next 100.
I won't be here without you.
No doubt.
Proud of you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Let's keep it rolling.
Let's keep it rolling.
Yeah.